Today we're going to look at how to change a tyre on a wheelchair. I thank Cyclone Mobility for very kindly giving me the tyres and the tubes for this video. And as you can see then, the tyres were completely bald and the brakes were no longer effective, not working at all really. So what I'm going to do is just go through how I'll change the tyre and the inner tube. Now normally I would actually just change my wheels out and do it in my chair, but because the majority of people don't have spare wheels, I'm going to show you how I'd transfer onto the sofa here and change it from sat down there. Now I don't have any balance, being paralysed from the chest down, and I can't control my legs, so positioning my legs to give myself that extra balance is going to be quite important. And using the quick release wheel, so just pressing the button in the centre of the wheel, move my chair aside, but keeping it in reach because I've got to put that wheel back on. You can clearly see here how bald those tyres are. You compare it to the new one, there's obviously quite a difference in the tread. And these are some brand new tyre levers that I got. I'll put a link in the description. I got them from Amazon and they're quite inexpensive. And actually came with 4, which was really good. So I've got 2 in my car as spares and I've got 2 at home. As here is you can see it's a sort of standard car tyre valve, a Schrader valve. I also have Presta valve tubes on some of my sports car, which can hold a higher pressure. Just going to release the air from the valve, and then using the brand new tyre levers, I'm just going to slip off the tyre. Now you can see there's a hook on the back of the tyre lever here, and that's to help keep the bead off the rim as you're taking it off. Now you do need to get both levers in place before actually hooking it on, otherwise the pressure on the bead is going to be too much and you're not going to be able to get that second lever in. The first time I put them on too close and I wasn't actually able to get a good purchase to get that enough of the rim off, so I was able to get it round. And here I've got a good about 6 or 8 inches, and that enables me to be able to get the lever on. And you saw that other tyre lever ping off, do watch your eyes if it's going to come back at you. Once you've got the bead off the edge, you can just run the tyre lever around the inside and it'll slip the bead over the rim, and you'll be able to access the tyre and slip it straight off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm looking at where the valve is. I'm going to go to the opposite side of the wheel and I'm going to pull the inner tube out. Now if I was just repairing this inner tube, if I'd had a puncture, I would be able to just repair that tube from how it is there, put the new patch on, let it dry and then slip it back in. But as it is, I want to replace the tube as well. It does have a slow puncture on that tube, and it's just going to be better to replace it on this occasion. So what I'm going to do here, take the tyre off, and you can see, I'll show you now just how bald that tyre is. It's actually gone through to the blue underneath the exterior, and these tyres are brilliant. They are puncture proof, but if you go over something like a drawing pin, they will still quite likely puncture. That orange tape there is called rim tape, and that's to protect your inner tube from the back of the spokes, which each have a little nut on it, but sometimes that rim tape can go through and cause punctures. So if it does, just a bit of insulation tape will stop that from happening. Making sure the tyre is pointing in the right direction, getting it back onto the rim. I'm then going to insert the new inner tube, just put the valve through the designated hole and then slip the inner tube into the inside of the tyre. You may find that the inner tube, especially a new one, feels like it's going to be 2 or 3 inches too long, but once you've actually got it in there and sat into right into the tyre and with a little bit of air into it, it will be the right size, it will fit. It's just another angle of it here. You can see I'm just putting that last bit of the tube in. And then what I'm going to do is use my hands to fight and get that bead back into the rim. Now this can be quite difficult. The the bead on a Marathon Plus tyre is incredibly strong, so it can be a little bit fiddly and can take some practice to get this right. Once you have got it in, you can just press down on either side and work your way around to the top. Now you're not going to get all of the bead in, but you should be able to get it to around about 12 inches left, and then using your tyre levers and holding the rim in place with one hand, you're able to just work the tyre levers in and get that bead back into the rim. Sorry about the angle here. I didn't have the camera quite pointing at the right part of the wheel, but you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm using one hand to hold hold the bead onto the rim, and then using the tie lever to inch it forwards, and you're probably going about 2 or 3 inches at a time, and just slipping that bead over the rim. Now you've got to be really careful here not to nick the inner tube inside. The last thing you want to do is end up puncturing a brand new inner tube. And again, that's why these new tie levers have proved really good. They've got a big sort of flat head on them, and they managed to stay away from the inner tube pushing it out of the way. Once that bead's on and the tyres sat on the wheel properly, I can slip the collar back onto the valve, and that collar is really important. Having that collar on is going to stop the valve going inside the wheel when I try and put the pump attachment onto it. And see, you've got to push it quite hard, and that collar just holds it in place. Again, I'm not able to stand up and use this foot pump as it's designed, so I have to hold the base with one hand, and then using my weight and my strength, push the lever down until I get to my desired PSI. And I'm going to put approximately go to about 100 PSI here. When I slip the valve off, I will lose a little bit, so it'll end up being about 85-90 PSI. The tyre will actually take up to 120, but I don't want to go that high. It does make for a firmer ride, and also when I'm bouncing up and down curbs, I don't want to end up causing a puncture. The tyre's changed. I'm just going to transfer back into my chair. I'll pop the brake on now that it's working, reposition myself, and then just transfer into the chair. And here's another angle of that, so you can see how I'm doing that. Again, I don't actually have any core stability, so I'm actually using the chair to balance there whilst I'm putting the wheel back in. Quick reposition and then transfer back in. Thanks again to Cyclone Mobility for the tyres and the inner tube for this video. If you have enjoyed this video, drop a like and make sure you subscribe for more videos on how to live your life when you're paralysed from the chest down.